Hello and welcome back to ERU, where we round up the biggest results and talking points from across European football. Joining me today, it's Henry Hill. Henry, how are you on this Monday morning?
I'm in a wonderful mood, Dougie. Josh Madger, your former best friend, has come to Fulham and propelled us to our first victory at Goodison Park. I think like ever, maybe. It's ridiculous. And also, and what more could I have wanted on Valentine's Day but your Twitter post featuring your egghead. I encourage anyone out there to get on Dougie's social media and look at his ode to his girlfriend, because it was a beautiful post about his head.
I can't take credit for the idea. I saw it on Twitter about 6 months ago, and then it just sort of came to me in the shower yesterday morning. I'm going to use the egg to make a little video. But anyway, let's go back to more serious matters, because we are bringing you, rather than a winner, loser, and our star of the week, we are going to bring you a story of the week, our result of the week, and our star of the week. So not a massive change, but we are kicking off with our story of the week, which is a big bit of transfer news. Isn't that right, Henry Hill? And this comes in from @Swagato_is_back.
Yeah, this was one of the things we were banking on being able to talk about lots in the summer, but no need anymore. Bayern Munich have won the race already for RB Leipzig's defender Dayot Upamecano, announcing that they've signed him on a 5-year deal from the 1st of July. So great bit of business from De Roten, getting in there ahead of other of Europe's biggest giants in Liverpool, Chelsea and Manchester United, who are all expected to go after the 22-year-old. And, it's a perfect replacement, really, for Bayern Munich, considering David Alaba is expected to leave this summer. Javi Martinez and potentially Jerome Boateng as well. And also the price they've paid for him. He has a release clause around that £40 million mark, and they've snuck in with that as well. So this is truly this is a bargain if ever I've really seen one. One of the best performing centre-backs for his age. A bit of disappointment in the kind of Football Daily WhatsApp chat. It seems like a bit of an inevitable move that this has kind of taken place, sort of Bayern pinching another one of their domestic rivals' best players, but you can't argue what a great move this is for both the player and the club, because centre-back's really where they needed to kind of shore up, really, if you look at that side. And if we look at Upamecano's stats, he's bounced back from a nasty knee injury which saw him miss 18 games in 2018-19. And obviously he's established himself as one of the most exciting players in the year. You'll have heard us talk about him a lot on this channel. And he's featured in 19 league games this season, averaging 2.6 tackles and interceptions, 75% tackle completion rates, 63% aerial duel wins, and 80 passes per game. That's huge, with an 88% completion rate. These are the kind of numbers you expect to see from some of the best players in the game at the moment. And he also ranks 9th in the Bundesliga for passes into the final third, 5th for distance covered in the ball. If you look at his highlights, he's excellent at dribbling out. He's really adept on the ball, a calm and presence and figure. Who, if you look at what Alaba was really gifted at, I think this is a perfect replacement. But like we said, for other teams across Europe, this is a giant disappointment. And I read earlier today that maybe Sven Botman from Lille, maybe he's been agreed to move to a Premier League club this summer. I read something about the €45 million mark has been agreed for that. But there are other targets out there, Dougie. So who do you think these Manchester Uniteds, your Chelseas, who are they going to turn to now as an alternative to Upamecano?
Yeah, well, Sven Botman would be a great shout. He's done exceptionally well at Lille this year. Really tall, elegant defender, can mix it physically as well. But ESPN are claiming that Man United have turned their attention to 3 names in particular. Sevilla's Jules Kounde, Varane, or potentially Mings this summer as well. And targeting a centre-back for Man United probably isn't the worst idea. No side has scored more than their 50 league goals in 24 games to date, but only Liverpool, with 32, have conceded more than their 31 goals in the top half. And we saw again against West Brom yesterday that centre-back could definitely be an area of upgrade. I'd also go for a defensive midfielder as well, but that's a debate for another time. And Jules Kounde has been excellent again this season, and he does seem the most likely of that list. I think with Sergio Ramos' future at Real Madrid, quite unlikely, uncertain even. It seems unlikely that they'll let Varane leave as well. And Diario claimed that the 22-year-old Jules Kounde has a €60 million release clause, and he's been excellent again this season. In his second campaign with Los Palanganas, after signing from Bordeaux, he's helped them to 4th in the table, 1 point behind second place Barcelona at the time of writing. And he's made 19 league appearances like Upamecano this term, 2.3 tackles and interceptions, 64% completion rate on his tackles, so not quite as dominant as Upamecano. But still very, very solid. 55% aerial dual win rate, and that's where I've seen most English English football fans have a little bit of an issue with Kounde, in that he's only 5'10", I believe, and he's not the most physically dominant of centre-halves. But we've seen, slight centre-halves come to the Premier League this year in Wesley Fofana and do exceptionally well, even though Fofana is surprisingly tall. I think he's actually 6'3", but he just doesn't look it on TV at all. But yeah, Jules Kounde, if he can mix it physically, I think he's more than ready for this step up. Excellent passer on the ball as well, 66 passes per game, 89% pass completion rate, would just be a massive step up on Victor Lindelof. And Man United really, if they want to get back to winning titles in the next 2-3 years, they do really need that solid base from their keeper and their two centre-backs to then build on. I think they could do with more competition at right back as well for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But as I said, this isn't a how to fix Man United. This is Jules Kounde. And I mean, his stock couldn't really be higher after that fantastic solo goal against Barcelona in the Copa del Rey semi-final first leg last week as well. And Man United will be now watching with interest as they take on Dortmund and Erling Haaland this week on in the Champions League on Wednesday. So it's a fantastic test for Jules Kounde, and hopefully one that he can pass with flying colours and maybe get a move this summer. And I feel like 60 million euros, bit of a bargain given his age range and potential. So I'm all behind this, really. And Man United, best of luck to you, because Upamecano going to Bayern, it is a real shame, to be honest. In that I wanted to see him in the Premier League. He's one of my favourite players to watch. He's had some troubles this season in the Champions League, particularly against Man United in that 5-0 drubbing as well. He's not completely complete, but he's well on his way to becoming one of the best defenders in the world at 22. So an exciting time in the centre-back market right now. But Man United fans, we want to hear from you. If you had the choice between Jules Kounde, Varane or Mings, who would you go for? And tell us why. Let us know in the comments, and let's move on to our result of the week.
So our result of the week comes from @LilBebe161, and it is Barcelona. You're always claiming that we have an agenda against Barcelona. It's simply not true, and that's because, obviously, what a marvellous performance this weekend by Lionel Messi in particular, wasn't it, Dougie?
Yeah, I mean, he scored 2 absolutely world-class goals, some of the best goals you'll see this season, and assisted another as Barcelona thumped Alaves 5-1 at home, with the other goals coming from Trincao, who scored a brace, and Junior Firpo as well. The 33-year-old Messi, that is, making his 505th La Liga appearance, equaling Xavi's record, put on a complete masterclass, guys, with 2 goals taking him to 15 La Liga strikes, just one behind his great friend Luis Suarez, who I'm sure he texted over the weekend saying, "I'm coming for you, Luis." Yep. But anyway, the Blaugrana may have lost 2-0 to Sevilla, as we mentioned earlier last week, but their league form has actually been exceptional for quite a while. There are 12 games unbeaten, and they've now won their last 7 league games, scoring 20 goals in those 7 games. And this is all the more impressive considering their injury list at the moment. We've seen Real Madrid have a lot of injuries as well, and Barcelona not having an easy time of it either. PK, Ansu Fati and Coutinho have been absent for the majority of that run, and they now also have Araujo and Sergio Roberto out too. And that meant Koeman had to play Frankie de Jong, who's been so effective in central midfield, in central defence for this game, and they had to give a debut to 18-year-old Iax Moribo, who had a pretty mixed game as well. He actually laid on the first goal for Trincao with some really unselfish play in the opposition box, but then gave the ball away in midfield for Rioja's goal and didn't make a single tackle, interception or dribble before being subbed in the 67th minute. Obviously, it was his debut, don't want to hammer him too much, but mixed display for Moribo. Still, Koeman can be fairly happy with the performance though. They had 74% of the ball, they had 17 shots with 9 on target to Alaves' 6 and 2, and XG had it at 2.7 to 0.7 in their favour. So another great performance from Barcelona in the league. It's only Atletico Madrid's imperious form that means that they're not sort of closing that gap really. But Henry, what did this mean for Alaves?
Yeah, so it's been a bit of a weird season for Deportivo Alaves. They've only won 4 of their opening 18 league games, and they eventually fired Pablo Machin on the 12th of January. In his place, they reappointed Abelardo, who was in charge between 2017 and 2019. But they've only won 1 of their 5 league games since, conceding 9 goals to the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona. Tough set of fixtures, and now only 1 point above 18th place, Real Valladolid, who are really suffering perhaps. Thank you. Suffering without Mohamed Salisu, who's gone to Southampton and done absolutely nothing since then. Real kind of bizarre transfer that on reflection. But anyway, the big issue for Deportivo Alaves is their defence. Only Real Betis, Granada and Cadiz have conceded more than their 34 league goals this season. But I mean, this is their 5th season back in La Liga. They've never really finished above 11th in that time. They are a mid-table team, and last season they finished 16th. I just can't imagine much better than that for them this season. It could be a really tricky end of the season for them. But in this game, it was all about Barcelona, really, at the other end of the spectrum. And we've got to give some credit to Francisco Trincao. In his first proper La Liga start, he's made 17 appearances off the bench. He was given a chance this time, and he really delivered with 2 dribbles, 1 key pass, 4 shots, and 2 goals. And he now has 3 goals in his last 3 games. Koeman, I mean, this is great for Barcelona because it means the onus can be taken off Antoine Griezmann and Lionel Messi as well, because they've been kind of carrying the team, certainly through stretches this season. But then again, I mean, who would you rather have to carry your side than Lionel Messi, who was man of the match once more for the Blaugrana? This is all in a season, by the way, where his head's meant to be gone and his eyes meant to, on a future move sort of down the line. But in this game, 1 dribble, 2 key passes, 7 shots, 2 goals, and 1 assist, 2 masterful finishes, as you said. Now all the attention will turn to this clash against PSG on Tuesday in the Champions League. And PSG are missing Neymar, Di Maria, Bernat and Dagba. They did beat Nice 2-1 on Saturday to edge ahead in Liga, where all their kind of main competitors fell. So they'll be in a good spirit. But, you know, before we were saying maybe this would be a really tough fixture for Barcelona, but suddenly it looks like they could sneak a victory, doesn't it, Dougie?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when the draw was made in December, I think most people would have said PSG were sort of heavy favourites, but Barcelona's magnificent run of form in the league, that is, in that time. They haven't done so well in the cup competitions. Puts them, I think, as favourites. And with Messi in such ridiculous form, I mean, that second goal on Saturday was just a thing of absolute beauty. I think they go in as slight favourites. But I think both sides are slightly flawed. Both sides have a lot of injuries. There should be a lot of chances. There should be a lot of goals. And I cannot wait to cover it on UCL Review with Sam on Wednesday. I mean, Henry, if you had to have a score prediction, what do you reckon?
I still think it'd be a slightly cagey affair, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory for Barcelona. Why not?
There you have it. There you have it. Guys, get your score predictions in the comments down below, and let's move on to our Star of the Week. So our Star of the Week this week, it's the big one in Serie A. This comes in from Joe D. Shepherd, who actually told us to talk about AC Milan versus Spezia, but with that in mind, he surely enjoyed Inter Milan's 3-1 victory over Lazio, with the Star of the Week being Henry Hill. Take it away.
Romelu Lukaku. He's delivered, scored twice, set up another as Inter Milan beat Lazio 3-1 with the other goal coming from Lautaro Martinez after a lethal Nerazzurri counter-attack. That duo looking one of the most deadly in Europe.
Yeah.
And as Jody Shepherd kind of implied, this was a really, really big game for Antonio Conte's side. Juventus' 1-0 defeat at Napoli, which we got completely wrong on Continental Club, I should say.
Sure.
And then what would you know? And then AC Milan shocked 2-0 defeat to 13th place Spezia. I mean, that's just inconceivable, isn't it, really? This means Inter Milan have gone top of Serie A for the first time this season. They're 1 point ahead of AC Milan and 7 ahead of third place Roma. So, Conte stamping his authority on the Serie A title challenge this season. That was in a large part down to the Belgian superstar striker. He scored his 300th career goal from the penalty spot after Wesley Hort brought down Lautaro. I honestly, you call me wrong, say whatever you want, but I don't believe that was a penalty in my opinion. I think it's
really
dangerous. I just feel like he got enough of the ball for it to not be a penalty in my opinion. I think it's just you're putting defenders in an impossible position. Maybe I'm wrong. I've only seen it a couple of times, but I feel it's slightly unlucky. However, you can't take anything away from his second goal. It was lucky deflection, which came off Lazzari, but he was the first to react to that situation before a great counter-attack for the third, where I think he showed that other element to his game, which is often forgotten about, which is just unbelievable, supreme pace and power, and just absolutely electric. I love him when he's in full flow like that. But yeah, I mean, his performance was amazing, wasn't it, Dougie?
Yeah, I mean, the numbers behind it were actually startling. 1 aerial duel, 3 dribbles, 1 key pass, 4 shots, 1 assist and 2 goals. And you're totally right about that counter-attack. Like, he just held Parolo off with absolute ease and laid it on a plate for Lautaro Martinez. And we've actually got an EFD Explained coming out on Lukaku this weekend on Sunday. So get very excited for that. It should be another great EFD Explained. I'm really loving that series at the moment. But anyway, back to Lukaku, because he's now scored 16 and assisted 4 in 21 league games this season, averaging a goal contribution every 80 minutes. That's only 3 minutes more than Harry Kane is averaging in the Premier League, one of the Premier League's best performers this term. So it just goes to show the level he's operating at. And he's now gone level with Cristiano Ronaldo on the top of the Serie A goal scoring chart. charts as well. And if Inter win the title, it'll be in large part down to the performances of Lukaku and that whole attack. They've scored 54 league goals, which is 5 more than next best Atalanta, and also 9 more than Milan and 13 more than Juve. And also, Conte's side, they initially struggled in the sort of bigger games this season, but with victories over Juventus and now Lazio in recent weeks, their record against the so-called sort of top 6 sides, the Atalantas, Lazio, Roma, Juventus, AC Milans, etc., has actually been pretty good this season. They played 7, won 3, drawn 3 and lost just once, that 2-1 loss against AC Milan, scoring 11 and conceding 7. And if you want to win a title, you've got to beat the best teams in the league. And this was a really comprehensive display from Inter Milan. They were lethal, they took their chances really effectively, and limited Lazio to very few clear-cut opportunities. So well done to Inter Milan, taking initiative in the title race, as Henry says, and well done to our star of the week, Romelu Lukaku. What another fantastic performance from the big Belgian. But that's all we've got for this week's ERU. I hope you enjoyed the slightly different format of story of the week, result of the week, star of the week. Let us know what you guys thought of it in the comments down below. And Henry, what should they go and watch now?
Well, if you haven't already, go check out Chris's one-on-one on the decline of Eden Hazard. And if you're enjoying more kind of Chris content, then we've got the fall of Celtic. We're looking at some of their decline in recent weeks. So that he'll have enjoyed maybe doing the video for that one. So yeah, go check out both those videos.
Absolutely. Thanks very much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.